Hi guys. In today's session, we are going to discuss about Clipboard. So, what is Clipboard and how it is going to be used in Pega, and what is the purpose of Clipboard in Pega application? So, where we are going to use and in which scenarios we are going to use. So, we'll discuss everything about in short about Clipboard. Okay. So, let us start off. So, hope you guys are able to see my screen. Okay. So, first of all, what is Clipboard? Okay, so clipboard. So the name itself it says is a clipboard, which is the collection of pages. Okay, clipboard is a collection of group of pages. Okay, so normally we will have some exam pad, right? I mean, we have some exam pad, and we are going to put some papers underneath the clip of the pad. So which consists of some pages. The pad consists of some pages. So the structure of a pad, okay, clipped with some pages is the normal structure of a clipboard. You can, I mean, in real time, you can imagine that kind of structure. You can see. So clipboard is a collection of pages. So that means it has group of pages in it. It has a lot of pages embedded in it. Okay, we have different page structures which are the part of a clipboard. Okay, so it is a collection of pages. So clipboard is a temporary memory area. Okay, clipboard is also a temporary memory area. That means so it acts as a temporary memory area or a buffer area between the database and the application. Okay, so let us take an example here. I just want to draw. So let's say this is my Pega application. Okay, and this is my database. So this is my database, and this is so my INS application, INS Pega application. So in this application, what I'm going to do is in my screen, so I'm going to capture all the data in the form of UI forms. Okay, so the user is going to give the data here and he will submit. So once he submits, or once this data has been submitted, so what happens normally, what we'll think is the data is directly saved into the database. Okay, so this is the actual uh, imagination that once we give the data, that will be saved into the database directly. But before going it, I mean, before posting that data into the database, we have a process. Okay, we have some mediator in between. Okay, it directly doesn't go directly into the database, but we have a structure in between called buffer cache structure. Okay, buffer cache. So this buffer cache will act as a medium between the database and the Pega application. So whatever the data that we give, so that will be stored as temporarily in the buffer cache. Once we commit the data, then this data will be committed into the database. So this is the normal process. Okay, so here in this buffer cache, we have a memory element called clipboard. So this clipboard is also a temporary memory element, so which could be the part of a buffer cache. So this clipboard basically whatever the data that we are going to give in the Pega application, so that will be first posted out to the clipboard. So that will be posted out to the clipboard. So after posting out to the clipboard, once we done any commit operation, then this data will be posted into the database, or this data is posted into relevant tables in the database. So this is how the data is going to be act in the real time. So that's how it is a temporary memory area. That means this clipboard, whatever the data that we give, it is stored in this temporary area, temporary memory area. When we change this data, again this will be updated here. Again this will be posted to the database. Okay, so before posting the data to the database, so the data is stored in the clipboard in the temporary memory area, and then it is going to the database table. Okay, so this is how the process is. That's how it acts as a temporary memory area. Okay, so in other ways also, like in the clipboard we have a lot of pages called system pages, user pages, and we do have data pages category and link property pages. So 4 types of total 4 categories of pages we have. Okay, so each and every category has its own purpose. We are not going to go in detail of those categories, but just to explain the clipboard and its structure. Okay, so this is about the temporary memory area, how it acts as. Okay, so in other example, if we take for every login, like let's say if I log in here, right? So this is my login. This is my operator called John@SCB. Okay, so whenever I log into any session, Pega session, so Pega will form a clipboard structure. Okay, so this is called a clipboard basically. So in this we have a lot of 4 types of categories: user pages, data pages, link property pages, and system pages. Okay, so in the user pages we normally have the application related pages. Okay, what are the pages that are created as a part of the application? So those will be the part of this user pages, and these pages data can be updated at any cost. Okay, coming to data pages, so we have 3 types of scopes called thread, requester, and node level. So based on the configuration of the data pages, like we have a lot of data pages in the application, right? So whatever the scope that we define for the data page, so those data pages comes under these particular scopes. If we define a data page as a requester level, then that page will be appeared as a part of requester data pages. If we define any data page as thread level, then that data page is available as a part of thread level scope. And if we define the data page as read only, then only we can see in the data pages category. But if you define the data page as editable database, then we cannot see in this category, but we can see in the user pages category. Okay, and link property pages we are not going to discuss, because we never use these things in Pega, but in the very exceptional scenarios. So coming to the system pages, so system pages is related to completely related to the Pega server and operator and access group, and all this information we can actually see here. So we have different pages like operator ID, which holds the operator related information and all. We have application page, which holds the complete information of the INS application. And if you go to the access group page, we have complete detail of the access group, which my operator is pointed out. Okay, and requester. So requester is all about the user who has logged in, like the session which has created in Pega server. So that is basically px requester, which was requester information, and thread information is all about whatever the thread that we have run. Like this is a standard thread, so that thread level information will be on the px thread pages. Okay, so these are about the pages in the clipboard. So we can see here the icons. Okay, page icons. That means this is the pages. What I told in the first point, the clipboard is a collection of pages. That means, so these are all called what? Pages. So the data in Pega is stored in the form of pages. So, okay, the Pega is based on completely pages concept, page concept. Okay, the data structure is in the form of pages only, lists, pages, page groups. Okay, so this is how the structure. So that means the clipboard is a combination of and a collection of group of pages. What you can short form, you can say it as. Okay, so this is the about the storing the storing element which we have discussed. And next, coming to the next point, so it is a debugging tool, you can call it as. Clipboard is a debugging tool. So how come it is a debugging tool? How can we say that it is a debugging tool? Because whenever we run any Pega application, or whenever if we get any kind of issues, if you want to debug, let's say if I'm getting some bug, I mean some QA person has raised some bug that some value is not populating in some field. Okay, so normally if you want to debug that, what we'll do is we will just go through the property reference which the particular property has been referred in the UI. So by identifying the property, after identification of property, we will just go to the backend, like whether that property has value or not. So where we check that property has some value or not, that is in the clipboard. Okay, so that is in the clipboard. So I told you, clipboard, whatever the data that we fill in the screens, that will be reflected in the clipboard before saving it to the database. So if something is not populating, in the sense, that means if that is in the memory or not, we will check. So to check that, we need not to go to the database table and write the query and check the data is there or not. No, we cannot do it, because some properties, I mean some properties may be in the blob, they may not be exposed or optimized, so where you cannot see the data. So the only way to if you can see the blob data or PZPV stream data is through clipboard only. You open a clipboard for any particular case, then you can able to see. Let's say if I run one case actually here, okay. So let's say if I fill this data, pin code 5, country India. Okay, so now if I submit this data, okay, let me run another case. So let us take this simple form instead of that complex. So let's say first name is Varun, gender as male, last name is Kumar. Okay, so if I click on create, Okay, now if I click on create, so that case is submitted. Okay, so now if you want to see the data, I mean at the backend, whether it is on which page or which property, so just go to clipboard. Okay, so click on clipboard, and in the thread you will have a lot of threads, basically standard thread or 001 and this one. So what is our case? For which case we are going to see our data is for R-10001. So now I will select this one, select this thread. Okay, now if you go to this page, and so if you click on the person info page information, so you can see the first name, gender, and last name. So that means we can see our data, what we have filled at the backend. Okay, so to see what data has been there in the application, or in the, which has been posted in the database, then yes, you can see in this way. So this is how, if you click on this page, you can see like the properties. These are the left side, you have properties, on the right side you have values. So this is how clipboard structure it is. So on the left side we will have properties, and the right side we will have values. Okay, so this is a page, you can see the structure here. So if you are looking for a page list, so this will be indicated with double pages. You can see the double page. This is the page list kind of. Of course, there are no records. So yeah, so this is a page list, px stage history. So this is a page list property. So you can see the multiple pages, but personal information is a single page. So you can see only one page icon here. So this is how the data is stored in the clipboard, and this is how we are going to debug, what data is sitting on what properties, on what values. So this is how it happens. Okay, so this is about the clipboards, and it is structure. So basically we have learned that clipboard is a debugging tool. Okay, how to debug any kind of issue, any data missing issue. So we can go to the clipboard and check whether that value is set or not. So this is used for debugging. And second thing is that it is a storing element, temporary memory area, where it can store the application related data, system related data, operator related data, and everything that is populated in the clipboard, which acts as a temporary memory area. So this is how it is. And this is about the threads, on what thread you want to see. So we should be really careful while choosing a thread, because if you check on other threads, and if you are looking for the data population and all, you won't get. So we need to be careful, like on which thread our execution happened. So we need to choose the thread. So these are the two cases, A and R. So we have created two cases. So if you want to see the account opening related data, then you have to choose A-6001. If you want to see the request case data, so you have to choose this one. And coming to standard is the standard thread, you can call standalone thread, you can call it as. Like, let's say if you are running any data page, or any data transform rule, or any activity rule, standalone, not through application, not through runtime, but through but through an actions, using actions. If you are running any rule, so that data will be under standard thread. You can debug that using standard thread. Okay, that is for standalone. But other than standalone, these are the different threads which are the part of the application. You can see two threads here, so that's how two threads are displayed. Let's say if I open this one, create some rule. Okay, now in the clipboard you will see three threads, sorry, four threads including standard. So you can see this create thread. So that means whatever the threads and whatever the tabs that we are opening, that will create a single thread. Okay, so this is how it is. and you can see the clipboard icon in the bottom, at the bottom of the Pega application. So these are the debugging tools, basically tracer and live UI, live data, and clipboard. Just we discussed about clipboard, which is a debugging tool. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching and thanks for your support. Let me know if you have any queries or questions. You can post in the comments tab. Thank you. Bye.